All right, here's a question. Do compliance and customer satisfaction go hand in hand? Well, if you ask consumers, you might get a different answer than the salespeople at your dealership. In a recent study performed by Total Dealer Compliance, it found that consumers are dissatisfied with dealerships' lack of desire to resolve complaints. Well, Max Zanin, the president and founder of Total Dealer Compliance, joined us to share some of the results of that study and how to resolve complaint issues.
Over 30% of consumers submitted a complaint to a car dealership. That's an extremely high number. And then we wonder, what happens to the customer retention on the sales side or the service side. More importantly, over 55% of customers were dissatisfied with the way the dealership handled and resolved their complaint. So that means that 16 people out of 100 are completely dissatisfied with the process.
Dealer online reviews are very important, and then obviously the customer experience is very important. When you mess that up, then your reviews are going to be negative. So what was it, the one thing or several things that they talked about that they were complaining about?
If you currently file a complaint with a car dealership, most likely this complaint will be dealt with by a general manager or a general sales manager or a director of finance. And that's a total conflict of interest because these people make commissions by selling cars, selling F&I products, and it's very difficult to be objective if you're a general manager when it comes to a complaint resolution. Our suggestion to our dealers is you absolutely have to have a dedicated compliance officer. And that compliance officer should be in charge of handling customer complaints because his pay is not dependent on selling cars or selling parts or selling labor. And he can be or she can be much more objective.
Okay, Max, when we're talking about complaining for the sales department side, did you find the complaints had a lot to do with the process, the way it was, or was it just all about price?
Well, they're interconnected because the price, is and process are the same. Meaning that a lot of times, unfortunately, dealers still engage in deceptive advertising. So, or there's a bait and switch going on, and that affects the overall process. And therefore, a day later or a couple of days later, a customer files a complaint, and he cannot or she cannot get it resolved, in an efficient manner. And here's the negative. If the customer cannot resolve the complaint directly with the dealership, what do you think they're going to do next? They're going to continue. They're going to go to the state attorney general or to the Department of Consumer Affairs, and that's how an investigation gets triggered. And now, this year, most of the fines went up from $16,000 per violation to $40,000 per violation. So unless dealers find a better way to manage complaints and complaint resolutions, they are going to be in a world of pain.
Okay, so there has to be something other than just hiring a compliance officer at your dealership. What else can dealers do to improve on this?
Well, I guess it's the golden rule. You have to act in a way that earns you future business. You have to do the right thing, and you have to be as transparent as possible. Because in the age of Amazon and Uber and Domino's Pizza, transparency is paramount, and customers really appreciate it. So the second your sales process is not transparent, your complaints are going to go up, and most importantly, your online reviews are going to go down.
Okay, so let's talk about fixed operations. What can fixed operations at dealerships improve on there? What was the biggest complaint that you saw from this survey?
So the biggest complaint is that service advisors are so overwhelmed that they don't get enough time to spend with the customer, or they don't have enough time to follow up with the customer, get back, call the customer, text the customer, get the work authorization, get the job done in a fast and efficient manner. So customers feel neglected, And it's very difficult to justify the high price tag that you pay in the service department without getting a particular type of treatment.